Before we jump into the story, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from. I am 18 years old, and my name is Tony. I live in a peaceful, serene town with my Aunt Lena, who has always felt more like a sister to me than an aunt. Since my parents became completely absorbed in their demanding careers, Lena stepped into the role of my caretaker and confidant. She has been my unwavering source of support, filling the gap left by my parents' absence. Together, we share a cozy home that is full of memories and laughter, a place that has witnessed countless moments of joy and comfort. Lena has always been there for me, offering guidance and love when I needed it the most. It was on a beautiful Saturday afternoon that this story began, a day that seemed to promise nothing more than the peaceful routine I had come to enjoy. I was lying on my bed, phone in hand, while the world outside buzzed with the sounds of life, birds singing, children laughing and playing in the distance. Yet, I found myself completely absorbed in my own little world, content and at ease in the quiet of my room. The air was filled with the delicious scent of something cooking in the kitchen, where Lena was preparing one of her signature meals. Just as I was about to drift off into a nap, a soft knock on my door broke the calm. "Hey there, sleepyhead," Lena's voice called from the doorway. Her cheerful tone was accompanied by a bright, easy smile. She stood in the frame of the door, looking effortlessly casual in a tank top and shorts that highlighted her graceful figure. Her long hair cascaded down her back like a dark velvet waterfall, catching the soft afternoon light. She leaned against the door frame, her mischievous eyes sparkling. "Lunch is almost ready," she said, her voice teasing yet warm. "Care to join me?" I barely registered her words, my heart racing just at the sight of her, something I always tried to hide. I whispered an answer. Though my smile gave me away, I wouldn't miss it for the world. The warmth that enveloped me was more than just the comfort of being with family. It was the kind of warmth that made me feel completely at home, both in my heart and in this house. With her usual excitement, Lena suggested we eat outdoors. Her enthusiasm was infectious, and I couldn't help but smile in response. Together, we made our way to the patio, the sun shining down and a gentle breeze rustling the leaves of the trees surrounding our home. I watched as she moved around, effortlessly arranging the table and preparing the space for our meal. It was a simple afternoon, but with Lena, everything always felt special. I was uncertain. She murmured, her voice soft and tentative, but I wished to investigate it. And then, in the dim light of the room, she kissed me gently. It was a spark, small at first, that ignited a tension deep within me. What had started as a flicker soon became a conflagration, a fire that consumed my thoughts and distorted the world around me. Nothing mattered but the warmth of her lips on mine and the exhilarating rush that surged through my veins. My heart soared as if it had broken free from its constraints, floating in the ether, caught in the sweetness of the moment. I struggled to hold on to clarity, but the feeling overwhelmed me. Her kiss was a whisper of temptation, a promise of something unknown but irresistibly enticing. My mind raced, but all I could focus on was the soft pressure of her lips, the taste of her breath, and the electric charge that pulsed between us. The world seemed to dissolve, leaving only the two of us suspended in that single moment of shared desire. A blush spread slowly across her cheeks, soft and pink, a reflection of the heat that built within me. I inhaled sharply, a mixture of excitement and apprehension swirling in my chest. Her presence was a fire that I didn't want to extinguish. Her touch was a balm, and yet it was also an invitation to something far more intense. She turned toward me, her eyes probing mine as though searching for an answer to an unspoken question, one that hung in the space between us like a delicate thread waiting to be pulled. "I can't stop thinking about that kiss," she confessed, her voice barely above a whisper, the vulnerability in her words making my heart ache with longing. Her honesty was a gift, a window into the depth of her emotions. "Neither can I admitted, my voice thick with the same unspoken yearning. My heart raced, the familiar rhythm now erratic and wild, as though it too had succumbed to the power of the kiss that had ignited it. The distance between us seemed to vanish in an instant, the air around us thick with tension, palpable and electric. I reached out instinctively, my fingers trembling as I gently tucked a stray strand of hair behind her ear. Her breath caught in her throat, and she leaned into my touch, her skin soft and warm beneath my fingertips. She didn't speak, but her eyes, those dark, endless pools, told me everything. They were filled with something raw, something untamed, something that pulled me toward her like gravity itself. "Can I kiss you once more?" I asked, my voice thick with want, the words barely escaping my lips, as though the very act of saying them would make them too real, too undeniable. She exhaled softly, her breath mingling with mine, and her gaze never left my face. I saw in her eyes the reflection of my own need, a hunger that mirrored my own, a silent invitation that sent a shiver down my spine. Without another word, I closed the distance between us, our lips meeting in a kiss that was both gradual and intense, an exploration that held the promise of something more. The kiss deepened as time seemed to slow, each movement a dance of sensation and discovery. I wrapped my arms more tightly around her, pulling her closer, the heat of her body seeping into mine. And with that movement, the kiss transformed into something more urgent, more desperate, as though neither of us could hold back any longer. Her hands found their way into my hair, fingers threading through the strands with a trembling intensity. And at that moment, I could feel the surge of desire crash over me like a wave, drowning all logic, all reason. She responded with an eagerness that set my soul on fire, her body pressing into mine as though she, too, couldn't get close enough. The world outside of us ceased to exist, reduced to a distant memory that had no place at this moment. There was only us, the heat, the passion, the shared need, and it was as if everything else had faded away, leaving behind only the purity of this connection. We broke apart briefly, our breaths mingling, uneven and ragged before the pull to each other became too strong to resist. I kissed her again, more fiercely this time, the urgency of the moment fueling every touch, every kiss. Her fingers tangled in my hair once more, her body responding with a force that matched mine, and I knew that this moment, this kiss, this feeling, was something we would both remember, something that would remain with us long after the world had returned to its steady rhythm. If you're still tuned into this video and find the story inspiring, drop a 1 in the comments to let me know you're still with me. Uncharted territory, where every breath was a discovery, balancing excitement and trepidation. We explored this delicate space in the secluded corners of my home, our lips grazing in ephemeral moments of forbidden intimacy, the brief touches weaving a tapestry of longing. Each stolen kiss, each glance laden with meaning, intensified the fervor that consumed us. There was an undeniable pull, a magnetic force between us that neither of us could ignore. One day, as I sat at my desk, engrossed in my studies, Lena entered the room with that mischievous smile that always seemed to promise something tantalizing. "Mind if I join you?" she asked, her voice soft but laced with a playful challenge. She perched on the side of my bed, her presence a warm weight in the room, drawing me away from the work in front of me. "Of course not," I replied, though my heart was already accelerating. Knowing her proximity would make concentration impossible. As she shifted closer, her leg brushed against mine, a simple touch, but it sent a ripple of electricity straight down my spine. I could feel her presence enveloping me. Each breath she took was an intoxicating reminder of the connection we shared. I struggled to focus, but every time I tried to immerse myself in my schoolwork, the soft pressure of her leg against mine pulled my thoughts back to her. Our eyes met, a silent acknowledgement passing between us, an unspoken language of desire and curiosity simmering beneath the surface, waiting to explode. "Tony," she began, her voice a delicate caress that sent shivers through me. "Do you remember that day in the backyard? How could I forget?" The memory surged back in an instant, my pulse quickening at the recollection of our first kiss, the one that had set everything in motion. "How could I forget?" I responded, my voice betraying the heat that had already started to rise within me. She looked down, a faint flush coloring her cheeks, and for a moment, I could see the vulnerability in her eyes. "I've been thinking about it a lot lately," she confessed, her voice quieter now, the words hanging between us like an invitation. "I want to experience that again." My breath caught in my chest. There was no hesitation, no second thoughts. I closed my textbook, my hands trembling slightly from the intensity of my emotions. "I want that too," I murmured, my voice thick with desire. Without another word, I leaned in, capturing her lips in a kiss that was both urgent and tender, the culmination of days spent suppressing the longing that had only grown with time. This kiss wasn't like the first one. It was deeper, more intense, a probing exploration fueled by all the pent-up desire we had tried to hide from each other. My hands found their way to her waist, pulling her closer, desperate to feel the heat of her body against mine. She responded instantly, her own hands reaching up to tangle in my hair, pulling me closer still, as if there was no space left between us. Her breath was shallow, a quiet gasp escaping her lips as I deepened the kiss, and I could feel her heart racing in sync with mine. At that moment, there was nothing else. Only us, lost in the swirl of sensation, caught in a dance of desire that neither of us had the strength to resist. Her fingers traced the back of my neck, sending fresh waves of heat coursing through me, and I could feel her surrender, her trust in me as she melted into my embrace. This was no longer about curiosity or hesitation. It was about the certainty of what we wanted, what we had become. And in that one perfect moment, nothing else existed but the two of us, wrapped in a passionate embrace, hearts beating as one. Sensation? Me neither. She admitted, a timid smile illuminating her face, her cheeks flushed with a soft pink. The words hung in the air, laden with meaning, and I echoed them in a whisper. Me neither. My heart raced, its beat quickening in my chest, as though it, too, understood the unspoken depth of the connection we were navigating. As the days passed, the bond between us grew stronger, evolving into something far more significant than either of us had initially anticipated. Our secret, shared only in stolen moments, seemed to become a part of us, an essential thread woven through the fabric of our days. We sought each other at every opportunity, exchanging kisses in secluded corners, our hands lingering just a moment too long, our eyes speaking a language that only we understood. Each touch, each glance, stoked the flames of our passion, bringing us closer to the edge of something deeper, something special. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the sky in hues of gold and crimson, I found Lena nestled in the living room. She was seated on the sofa, engrossed in a book, her figure bathed in the fading light. She appeared effortlessly lovely, her hair cascading over her shoulders like a velvet waterfall. I felt an intense pull, a desire to be near her, to close the space that separated us. I muttered a quiet hey, positioning myself beside her, trying to maintain some semblance of composure, though my heart raced at the simple act of being close to her. She responded with a smile, the warmth of it lighting up the room, as if she were a ray of sunshine herself. "What are you reading?" I asked, leaning in closer, unable to resist being captivated by her presence. She turned the book towards me, our bodies brushing ever so slightly, and I felt that familiar spark, a magnetic charge that seemed to emanate from her touch. "It's a romantic narrative," she admitted, her eyes sparkling with delight and something else, mischief. Intrigued, I asked, "Should I read it?" She laughed softly, her eyes mischievous. "I suspect it won't be as enthralling as our current situation," she teased, her voice like honey, warm and rich. Her laugh stirred something deep within me, a warmth that spread through my chest as I leaned closer, closer still, knowing that whatever this was between us, whatever it was becoming, had only just begun. If you're still tuned into this video and find the story inspiring, drop a 2 in the comments to let me know you're still with me. I drew in closer, her breath caressing my skin as I twisted and tilted to meet her, my heart thundering in my chest. Our eyes locked in a wordless promise, an unspoken vow that we were about to become completely engrossed in one another. The world around us seemed to dissipate as the air thickened, charged with a palpable tension, a yearning that surged between us. In a voice hoarse with need, I murmured, "I want this." Now, my words trembling, as though the weight of them had been too long held back. Her gaze mirrored my own, and in that fleeting instant, we kissed as if there were no tomorrow. The space between us vanished as our lips connected, sparking something fierce and untamed, igniting a flame that spread like wildfire, a fervent inferno that consumed us both. I could feel the heat radiating from her, her body pressing against mine, the warmth amplifying the need that blazed within me. Our kiss intensified, our lips intertwining in a rhythmic dance, a symphony of unexpressed longings unfolding in the quiet between us. Clara's fingers glided down my arms, sending shivers racing along my spine. I pulled her closer, our bodies now tangled in a shared embrace, the softness of her body against mine almost too much to bear. The closeness was intoxicating, and with each breath we shared, I could sense the deep, undeniable connection between us. Her gentle gasp ignited a thrill deep within me, a visceral recognition that this moment was ours, carved out in time just for us. "Tony," she whispered, momentarily parting our lips, her voice thick with urgency, a subtle tremor running through it. "I desire this to be exceptional. Let us relish each moment and truly investigate this connection." A grin tugged at my lips, my pulse quickening at her words. I couldn't have agreed more. I wouldn't forego it for the world, I replied, my voice thick with conviction and desire. And so, we kissed again, this time with a gentle urgency, a gradual intensity that only deepened with each passing second. The external world, everything outside of us, faded into nothingness as we lost ourselves in the fervor of the moment, our souls entwined in a dance that was as timeless as it was undeniable. Her eyes, those deep, searching eyes, spoke volumes without a single word. There existed a unique connection between us, one that was both thrilling and profound. As much as I longed to rush forward, the desire to fully understand and embrace what we were building held me back. I did not wish to hasten its development, but I was eager to explore it for my own sake and both of us. "I understand," I murmured, my pulse racing, my voice barely above a whisper. "Where do we go from here?" Lena's gaze softened, radiating a blend of joy, exhilaration, and a touch of apprehension. She met my question with a tender smile, her words coming slowly, carefully. "Let's proceed at a measured pace," she proposed gently. "Allow ourselves the space to experience everything fully, to savor it, to build our moments." The calm in her voice was a contrast to the storm raging within me. "Like the stories in the books I've read," she added. I nodded, my heart brimming with happiness. "Understood," I responded, my voice thick with emotion. "Let's write our own story." Over the following weeks, we seized every opportunity to be together. Moments woven into the fabric of our days, often occurring during tranquil afternoons. Whispers were shared in secret corners, lingering kisses that spoke more than words ever could. Each encounter felt like an adventure, a new chapter in our forbidden love story, one filled with quiet urgency and tender affection. One night, bathed in the soft, silvery glow of moonlight, I found Clara seated on my bed. She looked almost ethereal in the subdued light, as if the darkness of the room could not contain the brilliance of her beauty. Her loose t-shirt slid off one shoulder, exposing a delicate glimpse of her skin. Exquisite, and as always, irresistible. My breath caught as I gazed at her, the pull of her presence magnetic. "Hey," I muttered, taking a seat beside her, my voice thick with the weight of unsaid things. She turned to face me, her eyes glistening with something unspoken, something that mirrored the yearning in my own heart. "I was contemplating us," she said softly, her voice barely audible over the stillness of the room. I could hear the quiet, vulnerable honesty in her words. "I've been thinking about that too," I confessed, my heart racing as I leaned in closer, the air between us thick with expectation. Lena looked at me for a long moment, her gaze steady and searching, as if trying to gauge the depth of my feelings. "May I ask you something?" she inquired, her voice barely a whisper. I nodded, my heart quickening, the tension between us palpable. "What are your true feelings regarding this?" she asked, her eyes locking onto mine, her stare intense and searching as if she were trying to see into the very core of me. The question hung in the air, both simple and complicated, as I tried to find the words to capture the whirlwind of emotions that surged within me. The air around us thickened, each breath filled with an intensity that left us both suspended in a world of our own. As Lena sought comfort, I leaned forward, my lips meeting hers once more. The warmth of her body brushed against mine, a soft but undeniable reminder of the connection we were sharing. Our kisses deepened, slow and lingering, charged with the heat of everything unspoken between us. In a delicate movement, I drew her onto my lap, feeling the weight of her form resting gently against me. I could sense the rhythm of her heartbeat, pulsing in sync with mine. It was as though we had both crossed an invisible line into uncharted territory, into something unknown, yet so perfectly right. My hands, guided by instinct, navigated her waist, the subtle curve of her body inviting me deeper into the moment. As I pressed my body into hers, the atmosphere in the room shifted, becoming charged and intimate, like we were the only two people left in the world. Our kisses intensified, the world around us fading into the background as a wave of passion surged through me. We were immersed in our realm, unaware of anything beyond the bond we were weaving. And then, in the quiet between us, Lena broke the kiss, her eyes full of longing. "Tony," she muttered, her voice breathless. "I yearn to experience more of you." My breath hitched in my chest, both exhilarated and anxious at the same time. "I want that too," I murmured, my voice thick with desire. As I drew her closer, my hands caressed the soft expanse of her back, feeling the warmth of her skin beneath her shirt. A soft shiver ran through her, and I was consumed by the delicate beauty of the moment. My lips trailed down her neck, and I could feel her body arching against mine, urging me forward. "Lena, you're incredible," I whispered, my voice thick with yearning. "I've never felt like this before." Her fingers tangled in my hair, and her words, soft but profound, illuminated my understanding. They sparked something deeper within me, igniting a passion that burned brighter than before. I kissed her again, this time with more urgency, channeling all of my feelings into that kiss. The external world ceased to exist. There was nothing left but her, me, and the intensity of the connection we were forging, a bond that seemed to transcend time and place. As we reached the end of this intimate journey, we ventured into uncharted territories of connection, passion, and self-discovery. From the tender moments of vulnerability to the intense bond forged between two souls, this exploration reminds us of the importance of truly experiencing the moments that matter most in our lives. So, what have you learned so far? How has this journey of emotional and personal connection resonated with you? Take a moment to reflect and comment below with one thing you've learned today and how you plan to bring it into your life moving forward. If you liked this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content that dives deep into the connections that shape our lives. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.